Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Bucco's channel. It's been a long time since anything has been posted on this channel, but I just wanted to make this podcast or whatever, video, whatever you want to call it, because I feel like I have to get my idea out there. So this video is going to be about my theory on why Rey in Star Wars is in fact a Kenobi. For the record, I am stating Rey is Obi Wan's granddaughter, and I'm just gonna go down the line to some actions that happened in all of Star Wars to prove my theory. Now, I understand if you think that she is a Skywalker, she is a nobody. I understand that, and honestly, those two theories I just stated are probably more possible than this one. But I truly believe that it is possible Rey is a Kenobi. So let's get started. So the first I want to talk about is Obi Wan calling to Rey twice in that same vision in The Force Awakens. We hear Alec Guinness from Episode 4 say Rey. Disney went through that trouble and made Alec Guinness from saying afraid into Rey. So why would they go through that trouble? And then they had actually Ewan McGregor come in and say these are your first steps to Rey after the whole vision process was done. So why would Obi-Wan call to Rey twice in the same vision? Also, and this is going to be out of order, I'm sorry. The lightsaber, when it calls to her, okay, it is Anakin's lightsaber. I just want to state that. It's Anakin's lightsaber. But how many owners has this lightsaber had? 3, right? Anakin, Luke, and Rey. Or is it 4? Anakin, Luke, and Rey, like I said. But in between Anakin and Luke, Obi-Wan had the lightsaber, making him a owner, if you will. He had that lightsaber longer than Anakin and Luke and Rey. Who knows what he did with that lightsaber, with like Jedi rituals that we might see in the Obi-Wan series next year. So why would the lightsaber call out to her if she was not a Skywalker? The lightsaber called out to her because the Force in the around the lightsaber, I guess, called to Rey because it sensed that she was a Kenobi. And that will follow up with other aspects that I have on why she is a Kenobi. In The Force Awakens, we see Kylo Ren and Rey fight, obviously. Near the end of the fight, Kylo says, "You need a teacher. I can show you in the ways of the Force." And Rey stops, right? And she whispers to herself, "The Force." And then she closes her eyes, senses the Force, and destroys Kylo, obviously. So it's like, how could she have done this? And we might be overlooking this. Maybe we're seeing Rey hearing somebody's voice during this fight, just like how Luke heard Obi-Wan in Episode 4 during the Death Star battle, right? Disney just did not want to let that out there because it would have given away. So I think it's possible that she heard Obi-Wan's voice through the Force to stop Kylo. This follows up on my next statement is, who was the one that ever stopped a Skywalker? Revenge of the Sith. Obi Wan Kenobi defeated Anakin during their fight, right? Rey stopped Kylo, who was a Skywalker, and she even stopped in The Last Jedi. She stopped Luke Skywalker. Remember that whole confrontation when he saw Kylo and Rey touch hands or whatever, and they had that little duel? She made him fall onto his feet. I understand he was weak and stuff, but still, it's Luke Skywalker, and she managed to put Luke Skywalker on his back. Which goes into the biggest statement I have for this theory, and that is the Force is a cycle. Okay, so George Lucas has stated that the Force is a balance, right, between light and dark. When there's too much dark, the light rises up. When there's light, the dark might rise up. Even the dude, I think from Scooby-Doo, Fred, he like raged about how the Force works or something like that. And that's basically what he said, is like when there's too much dark, there's light, and when there's too much light, the dark might rise, and then balance. So that kind of intertwines with the Force being a cycle. Alright, let's think about this. Anakin Skywalker was and is the chosen one. Luke Skywalker is not. Rey is not. Anakin will always be the chosen one. And we all know this because he was the one that threw Palpatine down that shaft. But when the dark side rose during Revenge of the Sith, there was complete darkness. The light just fell rapidly. It just fell. And Obi-Wan was the only one to stop the dark side. Yoda failed to stop Palpatine. Obi-Wan succeeded into stopping Anakin from being more powerful than he could have been. Don't get me wrong, Anakin / Darth Vader is one of the most powerful Sith, but I'm just saying he could have been more powerful if Obi-Wan did not send him into the fire. But the Sith still rose, right? And Luke Skywalker and all this stuff. But remember, Luke Skywalker fell to Palpatine, which you can go into that whatever Palpatine is Rey related to him or whatever, but I don't believe that one. He fell to Luke, and you know, like I said, Anakin, Darth Vader threw Palpatine down the shaft. But no one defeated anybody. Palpatine just electrocuted Darth Vader's suit so he couldn't breathe. They didn't actually fight. It was Obi-Wan that stopped a Skywalker, and it was Rey that stopped a Skywalker. The Force is a cycle, man. It picks whoever was one to destroy the other. They gotta intertwine. I don't know how to properly say this. The Force, it's like a circle. Kenobi, Skywalker. Kenobis are overlooked at, man. They are the weak. They are like the kryptonite to Skywalkers. And I think that is a huge thing for Rey being a Kenobi, is that the reason why that she can beat Kylo in all these battles is because she is a Kenobi. And in The Last Jedi, they did team up, just like Anakin and Obi-Wan back in the day of the Clone Wars. Back to back, fighting the bad guys. There was just a connection. The connection is just there between those two. And it's also why the Force connection still carried on when Snoke was killed. Because there's just a connection between Kenobis and Skywalkers. There's always has been. So that was my in the movie statements. Now I'm going to talk about some out of the movie statements in the real world. So you all know Daisy Ridley is an English actress, right? Alec Guinness was also an English actor. So it's like, oh, that's just a coincidence. But John Boyega, who plays Finn, is also English, but he uses an American accent. So if they thought about it, why would they not have Finn do an English accent like how John Boyega like talks regularly? You see what I'm going here? And like I said, you can say whatever, that was just a coincidence, but Ewan McGregor has just stated, like recently, that he has been in cahoots with Disney for 4 years. And what came out 4 years ago? The Force Awakens. So, if they always planned on hiring a British actress to play Obi-Wan's granddaughter, then it fits. Alright, so this is when the video gets kind of weird, because I don't know how to describe it except like writing a story on how this could work. So, here's like a theory what could have happened. And before I get into this, I just want to state that why has it taken them so long to make this Obi-Wan series and say we're making it with Ewan McGregor? Because I think in episode 9 they're going to state that she is Obi-Wan's granddaughter, and the series is going to be about, or not like the whole series itself, but like maybe a season, how he met Rey's grandmother. And like I said, this is when it gets weird. Like I had to like write a small story to for people to like understand like what I'm going with, because if I just told you this, then it wouldn't really make sense. So I think this is the best thing I can do for people. So I have here, during the Kenobi series, he goes on one final mission. Like this is like in the later season, and he meets a woman who maybe, I don't know, like if you want to make it cool, like she's like a rebel pilot, and that would explain like maybe some aspects on how Rey knows a lot about like the ships, and like how she bypassed the compressor in the Millennium Falcon. So this like woman is a rebel pilot. Maybe if you want to even throw it, maybe she's one of the first rebels, and during like the reign of the Empire before like the Civil War happened, and like she's one of the reasons why the rebellion is a thing. It's a little far fetched, but if Disney really wanted to make it like that cool, I mean that would work. But I think she would have to be like a rebel pilot. I don't know. So like, yeah. She's a rebel pilot, and they meet, and they have to do one more final mission on the Death Star, like whatever, they fall in love, they bang, then she knows she's pregnant, but like Obi-Wan maybe says like, I have to go because I have to watch over Luke, but she doesn't like obviously tell him she's pregnant. Yeah, I know, it's whatever, like we're getting to some like weird stuff, but like I don't know how else Disney could like do this. It all makes sense. Disney, if you want to hire me for Obi-Wan season, just give me a call, comment on this video. But anyway, he goes back to Tatooine, watches over Luke. The woman has, let's just say, a daughter. It can be a son too, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just gonna say daughter. And she grows up to be a junk trader because maybe her mom died of some illness, so she becomes a junk trader, and meets a guy who is like maybe like an engineer, whatever, but she can use the Force, right? But she doesn't want to like tell anybody because she's afraid she'll be taken by the Empire or something. So like that's a whole thing. They become filthy junk traders, and that's why Kylo says your parents were filthy junk traders, which they were. They were, but not her grandparents. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. I guess if you really wanted to, it's ironic that she uses a staff, like in the Force Awakens, and Obi Wan's like one of arch enemies uses the dual wield, the double bladed lightsaber. You can even go as Kylo's name is Ben. It would be, excuse me, it'd be funny of like her saying, you were named after like my grandfather, whatever. But that was it. Like I like that last part. Like I don't really know how to describe it. That's just like my vision of how like Disney could do it. Um, but I think she's a Kenobi. I will till I see episode 9 next month. I will know. Hopefully, like I said, the Skywalker theory is a much more of a possibility than a Kenobi because there's more evidence between her and Leia, whatever. But I don't know. I to me, I think she will be a Kenobi, even though even her character herself kind of acts like Obi-Wan, like she's always gonna be on the good side. She doesn't want to reflect on the dark side at all, even though she went down that hole. Like I don't know. I just like her character just reminds me of Obi-Wan more than like Leia and Han or Luke. Like she's more of a Kenobi than Skywalker, I think. Alright guys, well thank you for listening. Please subscribe to this channel. If you want more podcasts like this, please let me know. Sorry for stuttering. Yeah. See ya.